This is an absolutely terrible thing to do to your body. Photographers work from home all the time, and now a lot of people are working from home. And most people have a setup like this. They take a laptop computer and they set it up on their kitchen table or counter or something. This is fine. If you're answering emails for an hour after work, it's probably not going to cause you any problem. But if you're home trying to work 8 hours a day, it's going to mess you up. It's going to hurt your wrists. It's going to hurt your forearms. It's going to hurt your back. A couple really easy things you can do can make your life a lot easier. First, the keyboard, the trackpad on your laptop, those are meant for airplane flights where you don't have any other choice. If you're working from home, you need some sort of proper setup. There are a few pretty inexpensive things you can get. This is a laptop stand. Just put your laptop on this. And right away, this has done a couple of things. It's raised the screen of the laptop closer to my eye level. This means that my head is more upright instead of being tilted down like this. Ideally, it would be right at my eye level. So I might need to put a couple of books under this to raise it up a little bit more. Now, of course, I wouldn't want to have my arms outreach to reach the keyboard like this. This would be bad to just have them supported like that. So you want to add an external keyboard. You can get just about any kind of Bluetooth keyboard is going to be better than nothing, and then some sort of wireless mouse or wired mouse, I don't care, or trackpad. Now, my arms and hands are in much better positions. This is still far from an ideal setup, but it's a big upgrade from working directly on the laptop. Let's take a look at a proper desk so I can show you what the next step in ergonomics is. This is Chelsea's desk. If you have the option of setting up a proper desk, you should, and it should look a lot like this. First of all, she has real monitors attached to her laptop here. The real monitors, they're bigger, that's more convenient. The bigger screens also give you the ability to just work from a little bit farther away, which is generally better for your eyes. The keyboard, you can see, is on a tray below it. The tray can be moved up and down, and more importantly, the angle of it can be adjusted. She also has an aeron chair. The height of that is adjustable, so she's adjusted it for her perfect height and adjusted the keyboard tray in such a way that when she's sitting up, her arm can be very straight here from her elbow all the way through to her wrist. What you don't want is a keyboard placed up here that requires you to put your wrists, especially on a hard edge. If you have to be working on a hard edge like this, wrap it in cloth or foam or something, because just having hard contact against the bottom of your wrist can be really bad for your circulation. Chelsea also has an ergonomic keyboard. I personally don't use one of these anymore, but when I used to just be writing books all the time, I definitely used an ergonomic keyboard, and it helped. By having the keyboard separated a little bit, it just holds your hands in a little bit of a more natural position. How much of a difference this makes, I don't know, because I often use a regular keyboard and I haven't had any problems, but people have different biologies. Chelsea in particular is really sensitive to this. I worked alongside friends in the IT department where we had the exact same configuration, and one of my friends after a month was in just dire pain and had permanent carpal tunnel syndrome from working in that condition, and I was fine, I guess because just my particular biological setup wasn't as sensitive as his. How much of this you need and how much of a difference it makes depends on you personally. This is not an individual consultation. You should probably talk to an expert about your particular needs to make sure you don't hurt yourself, because that is a distinct possibility. Chelsea has gone through 5 or 6 different mice. What she's chosen is this ergonomic Logitech trackball controller. Because she does a lot of photo editing, she's often using a pointer. She's found that the position she rests her hand on is much more comfortable in the long term, and it allows her to only move her thumb rather than having to move her entire elbow like a traditional mouse would. That's working for her. It might not work for you. You'll also notice that her keyboard has a separate attachment for the mouse that puts it at a little more natural position for her. This is the way she likes it. You might like something different, but it's something that you should definitely consider. I will also say you should use a mouse as little as possible. Use as many keyboard shortcuts as you can. Not only does this make your workflow faster, but by preventing you from moving your hand between your mouse and your keyboard constantly, that's just better for you, because less movements like this is good. I personally find that with a chair, I'm more comfortable if I'm actually leaned back a little bit like this. I just find that this distributes the weight of my body across my back and my legs more than if I'm sitting perfectly upright, where all your weight is kind of at the base of your spine. But at the same time, a lot of experts seem to recommend sitting upright all the time. I just find that doesn't work for me. I will say when I've used like a kitchen table or a stool, my back will be hurting in 2 days. And like I said, I'm not a particularly sensitive person. So I kind of always insist on a good quality office chair. So if you're going to be working from home for a while, you might want to consider ordering one. Another way that Chelsea helps to minimize her wrist problems is by frequently switching between this trackball and a proper pad like this. So she will often do editing from here, though you might not think that by the fact that she has Post-it notes written on there. It's also good to keep everything you might need really close to your desk. So she has notes here and a calendar. This is much better than having to go search around for everything. So if you can carve out your own little office space within your home and keep everything there, not only will you be more productive, but you'll be a lot healthier. This is not everything you need to know about ergonomics, but after seeing a variety of different people's home setups that I knew would lead them to pain pretty soon, I felt compelled to just share what I know. In the comments down below, I'd love to hear you just write your own tips and talk about the problems that you've had with your home setup and what you've done to resolve it. Thanks and bye.